Hi guys, welcome back. For today's video, I have for you a short horror story entitled 72 Hours by indie author E.M. McConnell. And I know it's been a while since I have reviewed an indie book, but I've realized why that is. A lot of indie authors write either sci-fi or fantasy novels, and although I will watch those movies, I don't really care to read those books. And when I do run across the indie authors that write in the genres that I read, and I read the first couple of pages in the book, the writing doesn't really grab me, and so I've been passing on a lot of those stories. But I do, of course, have something that I want to share with you today. 72 Hours by E.M. McConnell. So in 72 Hours, we meet a doctor by the name of Rebecca Carter, and Rebecca has just shown up to Rivers Hospital because she's planning on writing a research paper on asylums. And so even though nowadays Rivers Hospital is considered a mental hospital, it was at one time considered an asylum. Rebecca believes that if she can spend 3 days or 72 hours at the asylum, that she can present a research paper or sort of thesis showing that she's an expert in the field of asylums. And I'm not really sure if that's how that works. I don't think 3 days is enough to do research and talk to patients. Most people spend a lifetime becoming experts in a certain field, but I didn't write the story. So anyways, Rebecca goes to the asylum and she's welcomed in and she's given a room there. And as she begins to do her research, she starts to notice that there are these shadows appearing everywhere. And she speaks to one of the patients and they speak of a shadow man. And they tell Rebecca to beware of the shadows because you don't want the shadow man to get you. And so as the story progresses, not only is Rebecca seeing these shadows when she's awake, when she's falling asleep, she's entering into this alternate universe, or she's going back in time and she's seeing shadows, but she's also seeing a ghost by the name of Jenny, who was one of the patients when the hospital was performing treatments on patients that were kind of questionable. And so when Rebecca does wake from these dreams, she doesn't really question what is happening, but she does know that some of it appears to be real. And she ends up backtracking to where she saw Jenny at in the hospital, and she finds a diary that kind of helps her in her research, because Jenny talks about that time when the asylum was performing these treatments on other patients, and not only were the treatments performed on her, she helped with some of the treatments as well. And so as we near the end of the story, it doesn't really fare well for Rebecca. She ends up losing her name tag, and when she's trying to leave the hospital, she can't show proof who she is. And the person that she has been talking to and helping her do her research, nobody seems to know who this person is. And so the thing about 72 Hours is it's listed as a horror novel, but there's not really anything horrific about it. In my opinion, I think it should have been listed as a psychological thriller. I think it would have fit better in that genre, and maybe more people would be reading the book if it were. And another issue that I had with the story was with the suspense elements. There are some inconsistencies in the story, but nothing major, and not enough, considering it is a short story, not enough to kind of throw the story off. But when it comes to the suspense elements in the story, the author could have did a better job. I mean, there are these shadows appearing, and then there's these instances when Rebecca is going to sleep and she's waking up and she's seeing these shadows and she's seeing things in the corner. But when it's happening, it doesn't really make your heart race. It doesn't really get your blood surging where you're anxious for Rebecca in these moments. It kind of went from I went to sleep and then I woke up and there was a shadow. There is no in between. There is no build up to when these shadows appear. And in my opinion, it kind of felt like the author wrote this story to be entered into one of those horror fiction contests, but I do feel like it was a decent attempt at a story and it showed a lot of imagination, so that's something. So that is all I have for you guys today, and until next time, you guys take care, stay safe, and try to do something nice for a stranger so we can all do our part to make this world a better place.